Yeah, what of it?
Hi, are you listening to us in a grocery store? Are we as unique as possible? Can I summarize the episode and tell you what's going on? Am I also reading from a list of Bing? Yes, I am. It's your boy Jake from the Yeah What of It podcast. And I'm here today with my co-hosts.
Kehan.
Harry.
Good to know.
What the fuck did you
The
just
thing is,
read?
I binged good podcast intro, and then there was general tips. And it was imagine someone's listening to your podcast in a grocery store. Be unique. Summarize the episode. Identify yourself and co-hosts. Explain my purpose. My purpose is to bring you quirky, weird news. Try to keep your opening to 30 to 60 seconds before your content.
Oh, God. All right, everyone. How's your week been, Harry? What have you been up to?
This week, hang on, I got my pad.
Oh, he's come prepared.
We've got stuff from like 4 weeks ago, which is, to be honest, not really relevant anymore. Apart from, I was listening to a podcast with a guy who claims that he is I'm going to say the word therapist, but I'm using this term very loosely. Okay.
You're using it with the fingers,
Yeah,
therapist.
I'm using it with my fingers. That's how he described himself. Basically, he has I think it's a business. I'm not sure. I'm going to say business.
With more fingers.
Where he, with more fingers. Where he therapies people who have had alien encounters.
Oh,
Okay.
I love it.
Do you remember a few weeks ago I said that more and more people believe they are starseeds?
yeah.
He believes he is a starseed. Okay. And
Of course.
that most people are starseeds. Now, this guy blew my mind, and not in a good way. I had to listen to it in 3 sittings because it made me so angry. Okay. So to start off with, he decided that he was being visited by aliens and that he could communicate with them and that he was a starseed about halfway through his life, rather coincidentally, after he had a divorce and lost everything and went bankrupt. So do I think that he's had a mental break and now believes he's an alien? Yes, I do. Do I think he needs help? Absolutely. He also then went on to say, when I sat down a second time, he believes that cancer is caused by emotions. Now, there's some evidence to say that, being too stressed or anything can contribute. But
Stress and emotion?
Yeah.
I'm going to count
Feel
it.
stress.
Stress is an emotion.
Of course it is. It's a feeling.
But he goes on to say that you can beat cancer by being happy.
So
Right.
basically, he's fixing cancer with woo-sa.
Yeah.
All he's doing.
And he was going on about how he's had all these people come up to him and come to his. He does it over Zoom, and I'm really, really tempted to go along to one of these.
What, to join it? Oh, please. We should all do it.
I'll see if I can find it and see if you have to pay for it or not. But basically, he was telling this interviewer that he's had loads of people who have been really seriously ill, and they've come along, realised they are starseeds, and now they're cured, and that's it. He was also saying that he was saying that if you're a starseed, you can communicate with your alien family, right? Like telepathically. But in order to do this and, gain this ability, you need to meditate for 4 to 8 hours a day. So what I truly believe this to mean is he got divorced, went bankrupt, lost everything, got depressed, slept for 4 to 8 hours a day, had a mental break, and now believes he's an alien. That's what I think has happened.
How does he know he's a starseed? What is the criteria? There must be some box he's checking off that goes, this can only mean I'm a starseed.
He claims that he's had this is when it gets a little bit schizo.
This is the weird part.
Oh,
Believe it or not,
this is the weird part.
This is the weird part. He believes he gets messages in his head from his alien family, and he also believes that they interact with him in the world. The example he gives, which I've written this down because it just blew me away. He was laid on a hammock at some holiday place, and he laid there. And whilst he was laid there, he thought to himself, oh, if my alien family are listening, push the hammock. And then the hammock started swinging in the breeze. And then he thought, oh, alien family, stop the hammock. And the breeze stopped, and the hammock stopped swinging. Now, I don't believe this. I believe it was a bit windy, and it blew. And he has now put his alien agenda over the top of this. First of all, he's British. So he's,
I definitely
he-
thought he was an American.
No. He's, I think he's from up north somewhere. And he's really letting Britain down there, to be honest. But other than that, I've been watching... Netflix have released the final season of Ultraman, and I've been watching that, and I've been enjoying it a lot. I'm a big Ultraman fan. However, one thing I have with this season is that it's really good, and it's some parts quite dark, and that's not a bad thing. However, you watch an episode, and it's like, it ends, and someone's died, and people are screaming, there's lasers going off, there's aliens, it's like a doomsday apocalypse, and it cuts to the credits, okay?
Yeah.
The song is not appropriate. It's like this really upbeat, like funky bass line up, and then it's the outro animation is all of the characters, regardless of whether they're good or bad, dancing together to this weird funk. It's really jarring, to be honest, because you sat there like, oh my god, he's dead. What's going to happen? Boom, it just doesn't fit very well.
I need you to use your editing skills to put those different sound clips you've just made over each other and then play it over the outro so we can see what it looks like.
Yeah, but that's been my week. How's your week's been?
Do you remember when I sent you the screenshot of the TikTok for the Harvard Crocodillos? And I thought it was really funny. I commented on their post, the Harvard Crocodildos.
Yes, what team were they? They were like a cheerleading team or something.
No, they're an a cappella group.
Oh, an a cappella group. Sorry, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, I felt a little bit bad because I didn't really listen to the song, so I went back and listened to our cappella. It was actually really good, so I have since removed the comment. And I have spent the past 5 days listening to nothing but Harvard a cappella groups. So just so you know, the Harvard Crocodillos are significantly better than the Harvard Gin and Tonics, just in case you're wanting to rank them.
Okay.
And I'll give you more updates as the story unfolds.
Amazing.
I tried to take a leaf out of your book, Harry, and write notes about what had gone down in my week.
Oh, yeah.
And the only note was the one that I put in Discord in code, so you guys wouldn't know what it meant.
Oh, yeah.
So just for the listeners, what it reads as is reminder for UI. And it goes, roughly, chocolates. 500400300120601201500 actually 2000 autistic ?
I was confused by that message, to be perfectly honest. That one threw me.
I spent too much of my time trying to work out what it was. I was Googling shit left, right, and centre, and I came back with nothing.
I saw autism question mark and thought, is this an attack?
So what happened was I was asked to split up some chocolates between these different locations for the king's coronation. So we had a bunch of chocolates with his face on it.
Is this a maths question? Jake has 16 chocolates, and he needs to divide them between his 3 friends. How many chocolates does King Charles get?
So what it was they were like, right, based off of 1,500 chocolate, we want you to split them 500, 400, 300, 120, 60, 120, right? And that should have added up to 500 or whatever. Or 1,500. I actually received 2,000 chocolates.
Oh, nice.
And she was like, we'll just split it down roughly. So naturally, I split all the remaining chocolates into equal piles. But then realised that the remaining chocolates of the equal piles sometimes outweighed the amount of chocolate that was going to the location in the first place. So then, bearing in mind, these are all the size of postage stamps. And I've split them all out on the desk and I've piled them up all neatly. So then I re-amalgamated my pile of remaining chocolates and then tried to work out a ratio to split them out so that each location would get an increase based on how many they had originally versus how many were left. So like the smaller amounts of chocolates would get like 1 or 2 and the bigger areas would get like 50 or 60.
Seems logical.
This
Makes
all
sense.
came to a head when the head of recruitment, who's never done recruitment before, came down. She was like, oh, I'll give you a hand. And she just starts swiping them into these boxes and stacking them. She stacked them in piles of 10. I had them in piles of 5 for a fucking reason. and I had a mini meltdown. I had to leave. And I came back after having this sort of meltdown in the bathroom, going, I don't need to hit her. She is trying to help. And realistically, 10 is bigger than 5. Does it matter? Who knows? And no one would give me a straight answer on how I need to split these down. And no one had as much interest in it. So I assumed that maybe that was a bit of an autism moment. That was all. And I thought I'll ask you guys, but I'll put it in a code so you understand.
Well, the thing is, it sounds like you've put a lot of effort into figuring out the numbers. And if you're stacking chocolates the size of a postage stamp into towers of 5, and then someone comes along and fucks them up, that's a lot of towers of 5 that you've put effort into that have just been knocked away. So I don't think it's an autism moment. I think it's just a recruitment person, or
who doesn't do recruitment.
Who doesn't do recruitment trying to help. I think you're just below the autism line there. I think you're safe for now. Kehan, what have you been up to?
The usual, really.
How's your gate on the back of where you live? The gate, the lock.
How's your back door, buddy?
Yeah, your back door. Has anyone broken in? And
no one's broken in. I'm just I checked it earlier because I had a look and it hasn't moved. I've just left it at an ajar state, and I haven't seen it move or anything. So I don't know. I presume whatever fucking dickhead was looking in there ain't finding nothing. But I keep seeing on the old Facebook, on the old community thing, there's obviously some people currently going around trying car doors. I don't know how far they extend their criminality.
But who would leave their car door open?
What kind of prick would do that? Who would do it twice?
Twice.
Well, I think
his car robbed up twice.
The thing is, I keep leaving rubbish on my car seat, and it actually made me ashamed the second time, so I put it in the bin the second time.
Oh, I'm gonna make sure it's clean for the robbers.
That's it.
I bet I get to your car and I'm like, oh, this is lovely, isn't it? And there's like a little mint on the seat for them as well.
I reckon you play mind games, right? What you got to do is you want to get some lotion, right?
Right.
And put like 1 or 2 pumps at the end of a Johnny, and then just like tactically leave it somewhere so they think you're a fucking crazy person. Imagine breaking into a car and there's just a huge Johnny just chilling there. You wouldn't be thinking, oh, I wonder what cool shit they have. You'd be thinking, what the fuck have I just broken into? This is not a place I should be.
What you do is you put tiny little hooks around the like inside roof of your car, and you hang them from those hooks around you. Yeah, like some sort of weird used Johnny cult loop. Yeah,
but I argue that I don't live in the arse end of nowhere. I've got neighbours.
Yeah, no, it's not in an obvious place. I don't mean just like leave it on like the dashboard.
Harry is.
I'm not saying leave them on the dashboard. I'm saying hang them up around the inside of your car from the ceiling.
You can see that from the outside. I'm thinking more.
Well, then they're not breaking in either, are they?
Leave it in the glove compartment. No, you want it so they'll break in one more time, but then they'll find it. So like if you leave that right at the front of the glove compartment or right at the top of like the little ashtray, and they go to like open and then stick their hand in and feel something slimy and go, whoa, what the fuck's that? Yeah, I feel like that would be a pretty big deterrent if I was going around robbing cars. I'd be like, right, I'm not coming back.
You should get one of those gnomes from your neighbours. Cover that in lube and stick that in your glove box.
Maybe it is a gnome. They're too big to fit in my glove box.
Oh, we'll get you a smaller one.
I mean, to be fair, I could just lock my car.
I mean, that's the simple solution, isn't it? Just lock your fucking car.
What else did I do? I went to a wedding. I looked slick as fuck in a suit. Let me put this in the chat so Harry can see it. The shoes that I wore to this wedding. So when I bought them, they did not look like this in the picture. And when they arrived, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is
Are they clown shoes?
Nah, they're not clown shoes, but if you have a look at they are fucking shiny.
I could see another realm in those shoes, man.
They were I pulled them out the box and I was like, oh fuck. They are hella shiny.
Yeah, like you need to scuff those up.
I don't know if the shiny shoes work with. I don't know.
Shoes are meant to be shiny.
We're just gonna have to get you really shiny suit trousers and a suit jacket to match.
I want wanted a purple suit. I ordered
That's nice.
a purple suit.
Yeah.
But it didn't fit. And I was like, shit, I needed something. So I had to go with the old classico all black.
Do you still have the purple suit?
Nah, I returned it. It was too small.
Oh, I was going to ask for pictures of it on.
I had to return it. It was fucking horrendous. Because my body proportions, unless it's like properly tailored, don't make sense. Because if I get it so that it fits correctly on my waist, I then have hella load of leg.
Yeah.
And then the jacket fit fine, but the fucking waistcoat felt like it was strangling me. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Here's the thing, I'm shaped like an isosceles triangle.
He's got that dumpy.
Or a pear, the classic pear shape is what people normally say.
Yeah, I have very womanly hips. If I was to bear a child, I would do it well.
Hips.
So buying a man's suit can be quite difficult.
Have you got a license for that dump truck?
I do. God. I can drive dump trucks.
Oh no!
You just made that sound so much.
You made it weird. Oh no!
Well, that's a bit fucking weird.
So, my news story that you've probably seen, especially if you use the superior search engine, that is Bing.
Oh no!
But pilot intentionally crashes plane for YouTube views and gets 20 years in jail.
Oh, I did see this on Bing earlier today.
You did.
Yeah, I did.
It's a cutting edge news.
Uncultured swines.
We've got it's just installed on my work laptop, and I can't change it. No,
I mean, uncultured that you guys are only hearing about this now. That's an old news story about. Yeah, you did just get sentenced.
Well, exactly.
It's a good one. I'll let Jake continue.
Continue. Thank you for letting me continue with my news story. Prick.
Yeah, but that news story is a couple months old now.
Well, it's brand new for Bing.
You're quite old.
It's brand new for Bing.
Time
Bing
travel.
Basically, Internet Explorer.
So, essentially, for those of you who aren't living in the future with Kehan or living at correct times with me and Harry, this YouTuber decided to bring a plane up over, California. So he's a 29-year-old resident from Lompoc, California, sentenced to 20 years in jail after pleading guilty to a felony charge. His crime? Intentionally crashing his private plane in a dangerous stunt designed to gain views and headlines on YouTube.
Where did he crash it?
Yeah. How or why?
Where?
I'm about to find out.
It was like in the middle of nowhere. It was it was just hills and barrenness. There was nothing there, so it wasn't like he crashed in a city.
It was Palm Beach.
They hit the second tower.
Yeah, but on the original video, it's funny fact. I can't fly a plane. I've tried Flight Simulator. I'm fucking awful at it. But it was the fact that he'd done the video and he goes, "Oh, we're having some issues." And I'm thinking you could just glide a plane for a little bit. No, he's immediately out of the plane. Not even like a second thought of, maybe we could get the engine back on. It was, oh no, there's an error. See you later. Just out the fucking plane.
So he just dives out the side, pops his parachute, and then videos the plane hurting towards the ground. And it says, plane hurtled downward, crashing into a dry brush area with earth-shattering impact. Right?
Yeah.
And he was like, cool, that's going on YouTube. It's such a dick move.
Imagine being air traffic control and not knowing what was going on.
What's going on here?
Just being like,
no call for Mayday or anything. It's just see you later, plane.
Loch Ness Monster Hunter thought it would be easier to find it.
Yeah, first. I'm expecting it to be quite easy because Nessie's meant to be quite large and the loch is only so big.
Yeah. It's easy. People see him all the time. You just go out there, you go, "Oh, Nessie," and then he pops up. Oh, there he is. Oh, easy. And then you go home. But this chap quit his job, moved to Scotland to find Nessie. His name is Stephen Feltham. So,
what a fucking loser.
Yeah, my heart goes out to him because he's spent about half his life searching for the Loch Ness Monster. But he did admit to BBC that he thought it would be easier. He decided to move to Loch Ness to hunt for the monster after he sat down one day and wondered what he'd regret not doing when he was 70, which is a really weird thing to do. So yeah, he's been going at it for 30 years, and has been recognised by the Guinness World Records as the longest continuous hunt for the Loch Ness monster.
Does he claim to have seen it?
Yes, he does. He claims
Oh,
that
that's good.
within the first year of him living there, he had a sighting. And in his words, he says, "I did think this job was going to be easier, as I had a sighting in the first year, and I thought it wouldn't be long until our second sighting would come along. Since then, it's been 30 years, and he's seen fuck all."
Oh, God!
30
years!
30 years.
Jesus Christ.
He said he's seen a lot of things that he thought was it, but it wasn't. It was just like logs and stuff. And the article ends by saying, "Of course, what people really see could be anything. And some experts reckon that legends of monsters spotted in the water were actually sightings of a whale penis." And then it stops. That's the end of the article, pretty much.
How is there a whale in the loch, though? Because it's not connected to the sea, is it?
No, it's a loch.
Exactly.
That's the whole point.
I thought I wanted to double check that before I was like, what dickhead would think that? But like, yeah, it's how did a whale get into the loch? Unless you put a baby whale in there. You carried it from the ocean.
You got to transport it. But it's like those guys in Australia a few weeks ago who abducted a platypus and took it on a train. Maybe they were going to put it in a loch somewhere and create a monster.
That sounds like a more interesting, another newsworthy story, though.
Animal theft.
There's not much more to it, to be honest.
Oh,
apart from two lads
platypus.
went to a zoo, stole a platypus, and went on a train with it, and then the police caught them at the stop.
So they didn't even make it that far.
No,
They were just trying to make the forbidden platypus custard.
it was a 26-year-old man accompanied by a woman, and they had it was a wild platypus, not from a zoo. It was a wild platypus swaddled in a town. They've removed it from some waterway in northern Queensland, Australia, took it on a train, and then went to a shopping centre. And they just started showing it off to members of the public.
You can't own a platypus?
I don't think it's a case of you can't own it, but it's like, I suppose the equivalent in this country would probably be like going to a lake and kidnapping a swan.
They're protected by royalty. It'd be like having a badger just walking around with it, just showing people a badger in the shopping centre.
Here we go. Under Queensland's conservation laws, it is illegal to take one or more platypus from the wild, with a maximum fine of 430,000 Australian dollars.
Oh, so that's like £2.
Yeah, it's like £2. Yeah. But
convict money.
The police said that it's not only illegal but dangerous for the people that kidnapped it because male platypus have venomous spurs.
Yeah, on there.
They say if you're lucky enough to see a platypus in the wild, keep your distance. They
swaddle it and take it shopping.
You know what? They were originally cryptids.
Were they?
Oh yes. They were
that makes sense.
They were seen a little bit prior to the 18th century, but everyone thought that it was just a hoax. But then British scientists found it and were like, "Oh shit, it's real!" But they brought it home. Yeah.
Let me bring that back to the British Museum, where everything belongs.
A cryptid, it definitely fits in the cryptid thing. If you had no prior knowledge, you just look at that and you're like, "What the fuck is that?" And I feel like it might be the same for like an emu.
Yeah, I can see an emu as a
looks
cryptid.
fucking weird. An emu just doesn't look like anything else, except obviously for a ostrich.
Yeah.
But it's hella weird looking, and it's the same for that.
I would say a giraffe's quite cryptid-like.
Yeah, giraffes are weird.
It's a horse with like a mile-long neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it still fits into a category. You go, cool, it's a horse with a long neck.
My favourite category, alongside mammals, amphibians.
Mammals that lay eggs.
Mammals that lay eggs. Horses with long neck.
Yeah.
Easy.
Long neck style.
Long dick style.
What have you got, kid?
I have got... Where the fuck is my thing? The news was kind of dry this weekend. This week. So I only managed... I got two headlines, which... One is from an old story, but again, just like the plain one, it's finally came to a conclusion of the outcome, which I just thought was bloody hilarious because I didn't know this was a thing. You guys might see the video that two fishermen that got caught cheating in the tournament.
Oh, filling the fish with weights.
Yeah,
I
they
heard about
finally,
that.
Yeah, they finally got done for it. So they got a 10-day jail sentence,
How long?
10 days,
Okay.
and they had to forfeit the 100-grand boat that they won
Ooh.
No.
for cheating in a fucking fishing tournament.
Could you imagine?
Here's the thing, though, and I thought this initially when I was watching the videos. Like, I don't know much about fishing, but I feel like you can tell when a fish don't look its weight.
Mm.
Like, surely there should have been some obvious red flags when the fish is the same size as another, and it's not like, ooh, it's slightly heavier, but now it's considerably heavier. But I didn't expect it to have a fucking jail sentence on for cheating in a fishing tournament.
I think it's the
Yeah.
fact that you've what's the word I'm looking for? Not swindled or forged.
Fish fraud.
You've frauded a competition to win an exorbitant amount of money.
Mm.
I get that, but like, there's been people who've cheated in like bigger events than a fucking local fishing tournament, like in the Olympics or whatever, for doping, and they don't go to jail for it.
You can't arrest the whole of Russia.
That's what they're currently fighting for now. Stop giving them drugs. Niet.
Yet.
Niet.
Oh,
And then the other one I had is I'm fairly certain you saw this, and I initially saw the headline like last week, but I didn't pay much attention to it because I thought it is what it is. But anyway, hundreds of pounds of pasta dumped near a stream in New Jersey just overnight, and it was a lot of pasta. They've estimated about 250 kilograms of cooked pasta.
I saw the picture of this, and it is a hell of a lot of pasta.
Yeah, it's still unclear who's just dumped the pasta there.
No. They found out. They found out what
Did they?
happened. Yeah,
Oh, they
yeah.
found it. Oh, this one's I got is old.
It was,
your shit.
Oh, the
I'm
reason
shit,
was
I'm
like
shit.
some guy was clearing out his mum's, like his mum had died or something, and he was clearing out her house, and she had loads of like pre-packaged spaghetti and stuff, like dried pasta, and he effectively fly dumped or like this hoarder's collection of freeze-dried pasta into the lake, and dried pasta absorbed all the water to make it look like it was all cooked. But because there were so many fucking sachets of it, it fucking grew to enormous sizes.
I got my other one because in the search for things, I came across some funny as fuck headlines. Play a little game. I'm gonna omit one of the words from the title, and you just gotta tell me the missing part. So here we go. First one: police admit biggest ever cocaine haul is blank. It's 2 words. It's 2 words.
I've got 2 words.
Not
Go on.
real.
Very nice.
Any other answers?
Biggest cocaine deal is a bit Moorish.
No.
Poor quality.
Actually ketamine.
It's cut to. It's actually ketamine. It's cut to. Unfortunately, not. The word we were looking for is dental powder.
Oh.
Next headline: drunk fought blank man.
Inflatable.
Drunk fought
Ooh, good answer. Good answer. No.
blind man.
And a blind man won.
No. Unfortunately, not. The answer I'm looking for is invisible man. Panic as man burns blank.
Anus.
Wife.
Man burns cross.
No.
Early Learning Centre.
Illegal copies of Pirates of the Caribbean.
No. Panic as man burns crumpets.
I was gonna say toast.
All right, the next one's going to throw you off because I'm going to put the blank in a weird place.
Oh, the next one's going to throw us off. No.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
I've been
no,
getting all
next-
of these.
The next one's going to throw you off. Blank seagulls turned off my TV.
Racist seagulls.
Vengeful.
No.
Horny seagulls.
Employed.
Exeter seagulls turned off my
Exeter.
TV. Yeah, I don't know why. What is the difference between Exeter seagulls and normal seagulls? This one should be easy. Girl with eye patch called blank by teacher.
Pirate.
Yep, my favourite one. Blank to be old people's homes?
Large crematory.
Bloody hell. Pizza Hut.
Oh, that's good, but unfortunately not.
Beef eater.
It's not business.
Can we have a clue?
Illustrious acts and a place where
Poor
you keep
house.
animals. Where you keep animals.
You keep animals.
Sex zoo.
What
Other
the
place you keep
fuck's a
animals.
sex zoo?
Fuck barn.
Oh, close. Oh, correct.
What
Sex
is that?
barn to be old people's home.
What?
I saw the weird headlines. Some
Love
of them I missed, which were foul-mouthed parrot on the loose. I've been posting my letters in the dog poo box for 2 years. Man tried to sell himself on eBay. Fugitive sausage dog causes mayhem. Man freed after getting his head stuck in a bin in Aberdeen. Neighbour fined for listening to Elton John. Postman beaten by lavender bush. Man stole woman's pants for 17 years. Delight as man grows a banana in garden.
Show me what you got.
Question of the week this week is: would Slenderman really be that much of a problem?
No.
Hang on.
The only problem with Slenderman, right, is because it depends which law you're going to go on. I'm going off the law from the original game where it spawned out of.
So, because Slenderman is essentially a group project, they're the things that are used most commonly, then Slenderman's abilities are as follows. He's obviously tall, gangly motherfucker with no face. He has tentacle-long arms, or just tentacles that spring out of his backs as well. He can teleport. He's normally in a forest or abandoned location. Proximity to Slenderman often triggers Slender sickness, which is a rapid onset of paranoia, nightmare delusions, followed by nosebleeds. And eventually he takes you and you disappear, and no one knows what happens.
Missing a key point.
It's normally children, but takes longer to become adults. What key point am I missing, Kehan?
This is why I say the law makes no sense, because you said the tentacles on the back. Majority of the places don't have that. Some do. They all kind of agree on his height. Some
he's
say
between
some say
7
15
foot
feet.
and 15, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I think
some say he's in a business suit, or he's just black with the little white looking like a shirt, looking like a suit.
so. Just for context on and expanding on what you said about him coming from an online story. With the story, the guy had photoshopped some images, which is it's not hard to do.
Yeah.
But he had quoted under them saying, "Oh, this is a real thing," like doing sort of like an ARG thing. But then some people believed it was real. If we're talking about what happened in real life, that's kind of where a lot of issues came from, because there were those. Do you guys know about the stabbings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so May 31st, 2014, two 12-year-old girls in Wisconsin held down their 12-year-old classmate, and I believe they stabbed them 19 times.
Poor Slender. Yeah.
Yeah, and when asked why they did it, they said that they had to murder someone in order to become like proxies for Slenderman.
I think as a collective, he's not too much of an issue, because like you say, if we go off, you've got to look at him. Realistically, he's only getting one person at a time.
But here's the question. What if you put a mirror in front of him? What if he's looking at himself?
I don't think it works like that, because the issue I have with lots of things where it's like, oh, a mirror stops them, right? Is there's so many reflections just in nature. If a reflection stopped them, they'd die within like a week.
That's
I
true.
doubt anyone could go a week without seeing their own reflection.
But the thing is, if Slenderman was real, he is obviously a non-human. He'd be like the first. Okay, I might upset some religions here. He'd be the first supernatural being. Okay, to be photographed. Let's say that's not upsetting anyone. Obviously, you have all these religious deities, and you believe in that for you. But if Slenderman was real, and people knew about him, then he'd be the first supernatural deity in the world. And I honestly think more people would be like those two girls, and want to worship him as an entity.
But I think it wouldn't work out that way, because Slenderman doesn't seem to have any. He only does children, doesn't he? The general consensus is only children who he likes to like have as friends or proxies.
Slenderman's a nonce, confirmed.
Like, the thing is as well, I've just googled it. He can't be injured. So, if I know saying it's not much of a problem, but I reckon to keep children safe, you'd have to, I don't know, live in like walled communities where people are on guard. How do you really know where he is? How do you know where he is, what he's doing.
Oh, yeah, you can't know what he's doing unless someone's looking at him. Maybe you put prisoners. So anyone who gets put on death row, your job is just to watch Slenderman,
Now that's an idea.
and then he kills that one. And you just put a new one in front of him.
Fresh one.
Yeah.
Right, it's your turn to watch Slenderman now.
Basically, just feeding Slenderman at that point.
Yeah, but I think you'd have to I'd show him. It'd be like a bull. So I'd show Slenderman the convict. The convict would look at the Slenderman, and then I'd put the convict on a bullet train or something. And phew, off he's fucked. Now Slenderman's going to go and find him.
Well, no, I feel like Slenderman is smart. I feel like he would have just keep watching this one go, ooh, let me get that, just running around. So you'd be like,
just keep
what
it
the fuck
slightly out.
You'd be like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm just going to go over here. There's some fresh ones waiting for me to dig into. I feel like he's not an idiot. This has just started to sound like a lot like the SCP Foundation at this point.
Secure, contain, protect, and basically it's like a whole series of documents, and SCPs are, you get SCP-1 to whatever, and each one's a different monster, and it's a story of what they do, where they come from, and how they've been contained by this SCP company.
I think I've seen clips of that.
Yeah, I think they've made a couple of games on it and stuff as well.
Maybe he's escaped from there. Maybe Slenderman just escaped from there. No one else is thinking of that.
Well,
Maybe it's an SCP they couldn't contain.
This is the thing. I'm going to go conspiracy theory now. Whenever something weird happens, there's always an expert or someone that's like, oh no, it was this. And some of the time it is genuinely that. But stuff like that Loch Ness article I said about, where they were like, oh, the expert said it's a whale penis. And then Jake pointed out that it's a lock. How would a whale get in there? Stuff like that. Honestly, if it turned out that Area 51 or whatever was just a containment facility, like a zoo for cryptids, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It really wouldn't surprise me.
Yes.
I fully agree with you on that. I believe in aliens 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
they've got to be. But if aliens had come to this Earth, and a government such as the American government, or the Russians or the Chinese, these big land masses, they'd probably just hide it.
Yeah, especially if you
100%.
can't control it. If let's say the Loch Ness monster is real, and you've secured it and contained it, that's a big motherfucker.
But there's only one Loch Ness monster, isn't there?
I think. Well, no, there's one in America. Hang on, I can't remember what it's called. It's called Champ.
Oh God.
Because they believe they've seen pretty much exactly the same as the Loch Ness monster, but in a lake called Lake Champlain. So the Americans have called it Champ. There's countless stories of people seeing weird shit, and it's not just one person seeing it; it's whole communities, and then it just vanishes. It just seems bizarre to me. Sorry, I went off on one.
You did.
It's I've got my little book of cryptids here. I've got a book called United States of Cryptids by J.W. Ocker. Just hundreds of pages of different monsters and stuff. Some of them that's just bollocks. Like I said, some of them have been seen loads and loads and loads over the years, and then it just vanishes. Like the Jersey Devil, right? It was the earliest sighting we ever recorded is from 1735, and all the reports from then till now describe it in exactly the same way and behave in exactly the same way, and then it just kind of slows down and stops. Where did it go?
I'm in two minds, right? Because one mind you have mass delusions, where someone says something and that becomes the easiest reason to explain stuff.
Yeah.
So everyone goes, oh well, it must be this, and I know this about it, so that's what I saw. And your brain makes the jump, right?
Yeah.
But on the exact same token, does it not sound like something that the government would gaslight you about and be like, oh, so you saw exactly what someone else saw? That sounds a bit like you've got mass delusions.
Yeah.
And you're like, nah, that's what I saw. And they're like, yeah, but it's exactly the same. And you'd be like, oh yeah, I suppose so. Not thinking that you just saw the same thing, so it looked the same.
I know we've taken a bit of a detour from Slenderman, but I completely agree that the government can just do whatever. And they'll have a whole team of people who are experts in psychology and, communications and that, who will just be able to do shit like that. And you just go, oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. And move along. You wouldn't think about it again.
I think if it came down to it, Slenderman would end up in an enclosed forest to some degree. And to keep him in that forest, he would be fed.
Oh, or maybe it'd be like a Chernobyl dome.
Yeah, but he could teleport.
Maybe he could teleport.
So you'd
fuck.
you'd have to give him a reason to stay in the dome, and the reason would be food. It's like a steady supply of food.
That's
I
true.
guarantee you the only people who are going to feed him are blind people, guided by the deaf. I don't know why, but just so you've got like full equality and diversity.
How far do you reckon he could teleport?
5 meters at a time.
Well, from what I've read, he can only sort of like permanently live in a forest. He can come out of the forest and go for a day trip to Butlins, but then he's got to go back.
But the option of sticking him on the moon is not there.
Unless you put a forest on the moon.
Oh, that's Elon.
But why does he need a forest?
I don't know.
He likes trees. He's actually a hippie.
But what if he's just on the moon, right? So he can't die, right? So what if we just load up like a ship with 40 children? That'll keep him happy during the like pre-launch and launch sequence, right? And if he can't teleport back down, just crash it into the moon. What's he gonna do then? You can't die,
Christ.
and there is no forest, so you're just gonna have to learn to live without the forest. It also means we can't go to the moon, but fuck it, it's a small price to pay. Daddy Musk is taking us to Mars anyway.
I mean, Joe, I thought about this, right?
Yeah.
You say he's invulnerable to damage and can't be killed. Has anyone tried suffocating Slenderman? Because I'm assuming they haven't.
That's a good point. I don't know.
So maybe the moon bet is a good idea, because as soon as he leaves that, like, provided he survives the crash, because we're assuming that he's like, impervious to being shot, because that's something that probably would have happened. Maybe he can't breathe. We don't know. And then he just ends up like, that's why he lives in forests, because he needs that clean oxygen.
Well, I googled it. It says the way he kills people is by obviously murdering them and then sticking their body on trees and letting the blood drip into the forest. So maybe he's just the Lorax, but on a really bad day.
On a real bad scale.
Really bad day. He ain't taking no
yo.
Dr. Zeus shit.
He's the Lorax Dr. Zeus really wanted.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where he came from. He escaped from a real deep, dark journal that Dr. Seuss kept hidden under the floorboards.
Well, I am Slenderman, I speak for the trees. If you pollute the air, I shall steal your knees. There we go. That rhymes.
Yeah, I'll take that. That's all right. Do you reckon if we sort the climate out, Slenderman will go away?
I'm not joining Just Stop Oil.
No.
Stop right now, using oil and gas. No, it's not.
Oh, that's atrocious.
As it stands, conclusion is either A, feed Slenderman convicts and keeping him in a forest, B, feed him with children and fire him at the moon, or as a last-ditch resort, if we can't do either of those, we'll probably try and fix the climate. All in all, he's not that much of an issue. Just
One of those is a lot kinder to people than others. We can kill 40.
Yeah.
We can kill 40 kids, or ensure the future of the planet. We're killing the children.
If I said to Shell right now, I was like, yo, Shell, either I kill 40 children a day, or you just, start using paper straws. I think they would...
Population's going down,
children.
Yeah.
Cost of living crisis would be sorted because there's going to be less people. I've been your host, Jake, along with my wonderful co-host,
Ian.
And Harry.
Thank you. That's been our time. It's been a pleasure for you listening to us, and for all of you, we will catch you next time. And that's a wrap.
Yeah, what of it?
Hold my hand, Father. Tell them I'm such a good boy.